I previously shared a video where I was giving some takeaways that I got from the book Be Exceptional by Dr. Daniel Cavani. Well, I have gone through a significant part of it and I think I could share some more. Initially, I talked about the mindset shifts that you should be very much concentrated on changing and making, which can make a very big difference in terms of how you do things. Today, I want to talk about the things that you should start doing right now, according to the book, that I think are going to make a significant difference. But before that, let me just take a minute to tell you about the National Education Expo. Now, the Next 25 is a National Education Expo that is being hosted by DNK Group of Companies, where Dr. Daniel Cavani is actually the founder and the CEO. It is one of those educational conferences that you should not miss out, and it is going to be happening on the 12th of October at Mulungushi International Conference. Tickets are available. Student tickets are going at 100 kwacha. The standard ones go at 200. There's a VIP for 450 kwacha and a VVIP for 1000 kwacha. I'm not going to spend most of the time talking about it, but by the time I finish the reviews that I'm going to give at this point, they should give you a very good motivation as to why you should attend, because it is not only Dr. Daniel Cavani who is going to be speaking. There are going to be multiple distinguished speakers, and so you get the opportunity to get educated from different points of views, different people who have achieved very great things in their sphere of influence, which you could learn from even as you are continuing improving on your own personal projects. All of that said, let's get to the topic for today. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, if you're new here, hi, my name is Simon. I'm a fifth year medical student at the University of Zambia, and on this channel, I share educational content that is aimed at helping you improve your learning abilities, because I truly believe it is your learning abilities that can set you apart, in the sense that it can help you excel in your academics and it can help you acquire skills that are necessary for you to be of value to the society that you are living in. And so I share most of my experiences and the things that I learn. I also share very interesting book reviews, for example, of powerful books like Be Exceptional, just to give you some takeaways that I personally do get from the books that I read. Now, the thing that I want to talk to you about is actually just one point, which I'm going to break down according to the way the book actually expresses most of the things. So one of the parts in the book that Dr. Cavani writes is talked about go to work, comrade. Now, the basic thing here is that you have to be able to do work. Now, it may seem obvious, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean. There is no amount of education, there is no amount of research, there is no amount of mindset changes that actually replaces you doing the work. So you have to get to work. Now, the issue that you might be thinking is, how do you balance learning and working? Because it's that issue of at what point do you start working and at what point are you just learning? You know, these things are actually supposed to be going hand in hand. And the reason as to why I say this is because in the same book, again, Dr. Cavani talked about the how factor. So the basic concept behind this how factor is that regardless of what you are doing, no matter how hard you're working, it matters how you are doing the work that you're doing, because that is definitely going to depend on how much value it is going to carry. It is dependent on how you are doing it. And he emphasized it that you should ditch the mentality of doing things anyhow, and you should embrace the mentality of doing things somehow. Now, I'm combining these two things in the sense that, one, you have to work. Number two, you have to learn so that the work that you are doing is not done anyhow, but it is done somehow. And things that are done anyhow actually just translate into mediocrity. And I personally do believe that greatness is too heavy to be carried in one hand, while you carry mediocrity in the other hand. There is no room for mediocrity, there's only room for excellence. There's a book that I'm reading and it is called Lean Learning. It is a very good book by Pat Flynn. I'll probably make a review of that. You should just comment down in the comment section below if you'd like to hear about that. But the basic concept is actually where you have information overload because you are not acting on the information that you're doing, and how the best way actually to learn is to get to work and learn the information that you need so that you can do the things that you've already started doing better. So by doing this, you actually incorporate you getting to work, not waiting for anything. And as you are working, you incorporate education so that you can do things somehow instead of just doing them anyhow. Actually, if you just look at this, the Next 25 could actually be a very good opportunity for you to actually get an insight of doing things somehow, because there might be a lot of things that you're aspiring to do, there might be a lot of things that you're already doing. It pays to actually listen to people who are doing the same things that you're doing, but probably are doing things better. You don't necessarily have to copy exactly what they do, but by learning from them, you may be able to actually come up with techniques and strategies that are going to work best for you, but still are going to be delivering things that are actually valuable to the people that you are serving. Now, I know the points that I've brought about are a bit of a mouthful, but the main thing which all of these boil down is the issue of by working and working somehow, what you generate is what? is value. Now, why is generating value important? Dr. Daniel Kavani, actually from the very beginning of this book, he talks about how there is an invisible merchandise. The basic principle is that the world is really about business. Everything is being sold and people are buying. So you must be able to provide value that another person is going to be able to do what? To buy. Actually, one of my favorite writers, Ellen G. White, talks about how you should not be in haste to create wealth, but you should labor so that you create wealth by laboring. What I think she's trying to mention here is you should ditch the mindset of wanting to get value without providing any value. You should be able to work, provide value, and then get value in form of wealth. That kind of wealth is a wealth that comes with integrity, because if you conjure up the mentality where you want to get without actually working, without providing value, there is no telling to what things you can actually resort to. You will resort to gambling, which I personally don't think is something that you should be doing. You will resort to things that, stealing. You could steal if you want the money without the working. So by providing value, you actually involve yourself into the law of the world, at least, which is a merchandise where you get value by providing value. And it's very clear that the world does not give anything for nothing. So if you get anything for nothing, then you store. The only way that you're going to get anything out of this world, including things that are not necessarily monetary, is because value has been provided. Even salvation that we think is free has actually been paid for, only that you are not the one who paid it. Is Jesus Christ who paid. But anyway, that could be a story for another day. A very beautiful story for another day. And the other book which I'm reading, The E-Myth, which is really about business, because me being a medical student, I do not have a lot of background about business information, and I'm trying to educate myself in that sphere. There is this concept where it talks about how you are working in your business and you're working on your business. So instead of just putting, running, if you're selling something, instead of just doing you order, you sell, there is a component of you that is on the innovative side, where you are continuously learning about your business and working on it and making it better. From these two things, you will discover that there are two things that are happening simultaneously. There is an act of working, an act of actually executing, and then it is working simultaneously together with an act of trying to improve the things that you are doing. Instead of you separating your work and separating it from your education, you can actually put things together. That produces the best results, and it actually makes you learn much faster. And when you look at what Dr. Kavani talks about in his book, he directly just tells you that you have to get to work, and you have to get to work now, whether you're a graduate or you're a student. And he talks about how it is not just getting to work. You must be able to do things somehow and not anyhow. So you combine your work and you combine education, and when you put them together, you're discovering that you are going to be improving continuously and yet getting results without postponing results. Now, there are a lot of things that are in this book that I would not be able to give. I just took those things that really stood out for me, especially at the point in my life as a young entrepreneur. And so those are the things that I've shared with you. However, I would advise you to just grab a copy. It's just 300 kwacha, and read the book for yourself. You're going to thank me later. Now, I hope the takeaways were presented exceptionally, because I think I read this book exceptionally, just like the book says. And if you love the way I package information, that is directly because of how I read. And if you want to learn about how I read books, you must just subscribe to my channel, because I talk about how I learn. And this is not just for my academics, but it's for every other activity that involves learning. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you like this video. Feel free to share this video with a couple of friends on all your social media platforms, and I hope I see you at the next 25. But before that, see you in the next video. Bye bye.